And welcome back to Cooper & Company. I do want to say all the guests that we have on here, if you ever don't have time to write down any of the information, all you have to do is email me, ztv@jamiecooper.com. Dr. Jan White with me here this morning. But I have some pictures to share with you because I know you're a dog lover and you'll like these. All right, a viewer sent this to me and said, check out this little puppy. It's so cute. Now, everyone goes, aw, when they see that. Of course, that's a little beautiful little puppy. It's a Razor's Edge Pit Bull. Well, that's Dude. Dude just won his first dog show. There he is, 10 weeks old. Way to go, Dude. He's a ladies' man. If there's a woman in sight, he never leaves. He won't go back to Chris, his owner, but says he's just a dude. The name is pretty appropriate. Now, Dude's father, let me tell you a little bit about him. 100 pounds, wow. 15 inches tall, head 26 inches, lug nut, aka fat boy. So there's a proud family. They actually have litters and everything, but Chris watches in the morning and says, I'm going to share some photos with y'all.
We get paid on that one too?
Did. We don't. We're not pushing selling puppies, but aren't they cute? I just thought we'd show some of those. So if you have any great photos out there you want to send us, go ahead and send it. We'll be happy to show them up here when we have time. All right, Dr. Jan White, wasn't that cute?
That was adorable. In fact, that first photo looked like a little stuffed animal in her hand.
Didn't look like a pit bull to me, but I know you're a dog lover too.
I am.
What's your topic today?
Well, I'm talking about some dementias that are reversible and preventable. Okay. And this is always a very hot topic because people are so afraid of, losing their marbles.
If I start repeating myself, oh no,
Yeah, but really there's no reason to be afraid because most of these are really something that it's preventable and reversible.
Which is great news.
Right, and so we call this dementia. Now they used to call it being senile, losing your mind, but no, the real word is dementia. And the first one I want to talk about is sleep disorders. Now if an older adult anyone is sleep deprived, you're not going to be able to have recall and be coherent. And so when I do an assessment, I always include a sleep assessment because I have found a number of people who are not getting enough sleep or they're napping during the day. If you're falling asleep in the recliner, that's a nap.
Big difference.
Yeah, and then they're stumbling around and forgetting, and so that is preventable and reversible. Now, the next one is actually these two go together, alcoholism and the side effects of prescription drugs.
Ooh,
what a dangerous combination.
Yes,
now,
it is.
a lot of older adults are on sleeping medication, they're on psychotropic drugs, they're on painkillers. That alone can cause a memory impairment.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, and so you're slurring and you're forgetting words and you're bumbling around, and so of course the first thing the family members think of is, mom's losing it. No, mom is just overly medicated.
Bit too much.
Then let's have a cocktail in the evening or have a couple of beers.
Wow.
No. So again, preventable and reversible. And if you do think that you're taking too much medicine, talk to the physician because they don't want this.
Wow.
No. Dangerous. Very dangerous.
We had that same cue.
Poor nutrition. Now, I do also a nutrition assessment, and what I'm finding with older adults, and this is very common, they're not sitting down to meals, they're grazing. Grazing around the kitchen. Well, what did you eat for lunch? Well, I had a handful of raisins. Then later on I had some yogurt, and then I had a couple of cookies. Well, undernourishment is you're not feeding your brain. And if your brain isn't getting the right nutrients, then you will have forgetting and you won't have the coordination.
When you do these assessments, Jan, do you ever find out that a lot of times it's something that we're doing to ourselves? And you can prevent all of this?
Absolutely. I have people coming in really in tears because they have noticed, or some family members have pointed out that they're not as sharp as they were, and they think, well, gosh, I have Alzheimer's, and everyone just dreads that. But no, usually it is something they're doing that can be changed that is causing this.
Well, that's great news.
That is good news. And the last one I want to talk about is something that is very much in the news right now because of the heat, and that is dehydration.
Definitely a problem.
If you're dehydrated, your brain is not able to work. Now, Jamie showed earlier these bottles of water that he got. Okay, now you're supposed to drink, or an older adult you're supposed to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Now, that doesn't mean 8 bottles of water a day.
Yeah, need some water.
That means 4 bottles of water a day, because if you look on there, that's a little over 16 ounces.
So if you think, okay, I have to drink 8 of these, actually you
No,
don't. It's
don't.
just
You drink
4
of those. And so
you're good
here's
to
the
go.
easy way to remember that.
Okay.
If you're 65 or over, you need 65 ounces of water a day. 65, 65.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, like that coffee cup I was just drinking out of, that is a 12-ounce cup. So start looking at the cups.
Paying attention.
And
You know,
paying
all
attention.
dishes, all glasses are much larger these days.
Yeah, 8 ounces is not really a lot of water. So on a hot day, sitting around and only drinking 2 or 3 cups of water, no, that is not going to do it. And you will start losing some cognitive, ability.
Goodness.
So that is very dangerous.
Good advice too. You know, speaking of Senator Tom Butler, we spent some time with him yesterday, and I want to say, when talking about over medication, he's also a pharmacist, and he says a lot of people are doing these time-released drugs, or like that codeine syrup that Jamie just talked about. What the kids don't realize, or the adults that are doing this, is once you take that, it's a time-released medication. So then if you have a couple beers, or by the time you have 3 or 4, what that's doing is it's sitting in your stomach, and you're just going to fall asleep. And then later, the rest of that medicine comes out, and that is when it gets dangerous, and there's so many times that they do not wake up. So a lot of people aren't taking into fact that it is a time-released medication.
That is an excellent point, Gloria, and I'm glad you brought that up, because you do have to read the fine print.
You do.
Common sense prevails, but if someone is pointing out that you're slurring your speech or you're forgetting, pay attention, because it could be something as simple as just changing that medication.
And that's the great advice, and I would not have known that had Senator Butler not pointed that out to us yesterday. It sure is. We enjoyed having water at his place.
Yeah, so drink up, but make sure it's the 65 ounces of water.
All right. Well, Dr. Jan White, thank you for being with us on
You're
this
welcome.
Wednesday morning. We are going to take a quick break because Johnny Lee Dees is here, and there's always great things to talk about in church. We'll be right back.